Thank you. I'm really glad to see that a lot of people have come out tonight to this hearing. People have been calling up, speaking to the Public Service Commission about what's on their mind about this plan. A lot of people know why we're here tonight, but not a lot of people know who brought us here. The person who's responsible for bringing this issue to the forefront, for fighting utility rate increase after utility rate increase successfully time and again, is a public servant who has the political courage and tenacity to fight for the people of this great town, and that's Supervisor Christopher P. St. Lawrence. We should all use this opportunity to speak frankly about our opinions of United Water's plan for the ratepayers of Ramapo. As a councilman, I'm here tonight on behalf of all the people of our town. Even in my own village of New Hempstead, I know of people who work hard and put together enough money to pay their bills, and some people who don't even have jobs. People are struggling. And amid our struggle, United Water has come to the ratepayers of Ramapo and told them that they are demanding an astronomical rate increase to pay for a risky desalination plant scheme that will not even benefit the people of this town overall. Even the exact amount of the rate increase isn't clear. First we were told that the average ratepayer would see their bill go up by 21%. United Water came back and said that the bill would be more like 23.9%. But I know that the Public Service Commission tonight has documents from United Water themselves suggesting that the increase is really 31.2%. Now let me be clear. The people of Ramapo cannot and should not stomach a 30% increase, nor a 20% increase, nor a 10% increase, nor a 1% increase. No increase, period. Part of the reason United Water is seeking this, as we all know, is because they would like to build a $116 million desalination plant. A plant that would produce water that would be sent to New Jersey. So in effect, Ramapo taxpayers, Ramapo ratepayers are being asked to foot a bill to provide services elsewhere. Even now, already in a period of less than 4 months, United Water has diverted over 230 million gallons of water from Rockland to New Jersey, an act so egregious they were fined for it. With a plant that produces even more water, we can be sure that even more water will flow from Ramapo to New Jersey, and with it will go the hard-fought savings of the ratepayers of all of our residents who are going to foot the bill for customers everywhere. I would remind the Public Service Commission tonight that the proposed desalination plant is only 1/3 of the way through the approval process with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. As a result, it would be completely inappropriate for the Public Service Commission to approve any rate hike that would be necessary to pay for a project that still requires the approval of another state organization. If the Public Service Commission approves this rate hike, they will be overstepping their bounds and giving a seal of approval to a project that they have no jurisdiction over. Now, people should know that this is not the first time that a major utility company has come into a town and built a desalination plant. In Tampa Bay, Florida, a desalination plant built there had to close just shortly after it opened because of structural deficiencies created because of the plant's poor planning. Shortly after the plant closed, the utility filed Chapter 11, and the plant got sold to another company, which not long after filed for Chapter 11 too. And eventually the city of Tampa Bay had to take over that plant. Finally, after 10 years, a project that started with a price tag of $110 million, which has now erupted to $160 million, was opened just a few months ago, after 10 years, and it's producing a trickle of water by comparison to what the utility companies originally promised. In Texas, a plan for a desalination plant was scrapped immediately because of the initial price tag of $180 million. In Swansea, Massachusetts, a desalination plant went over its budget before it was even opened. And in El Paso, Texas, a utility company came to town and told the residents that it would provide water at an 89% capacity through the use of that plant to meet the needs of the area. The residents signed on, supported the plan, and the plant opened. And today it's operating at 13% capacity. And on and on and on and on. This plan and the failures of similar plants in the past coupled with United Water's reckless actions, make one thing very clear. The only hope for ratepayers in our town and elsewhere is for a complete municipal takeover of water production and delivery at an appropriate cost to put control back in the hands of our ratepayers. United Water may be headstrong in its approach for this plant, but many other options exist. Some have been discussed here tonight. If United Water would spend a fraction of the amount that they want to spend on this plant fixing leaks in the existing infrastructure, they could recover 2 million gallons of water a day. Coincidentally, that same 2 million gallons is what they hope to accomplish and they hope to produce with this $116 million monstrosity on the Hudson. Now let's talk about the Hudson. Our water source to be if this plan is approved? Firstly, the water there has traces of radioactive waste stemming from its closest to the nearby Indian Point nuclear power plant. We also know that this water is so toxic, it is not appropriate for human consumption for any purpose, no matter the filtration system used. 40 years ago today, what began as a small movement of young people and citizens concerned about pollution and power plants and wildlife led to the very first celebration of Earth Day. Tonight, on this Earth Day, we continue to fight the very same abuses of our environment that launched the start of that movement. And on this auspicious night, we gather here to oppose a plan that would destroy aquatic life and water life in the area, worsen the quality of our air, and use significant amounts of electricity, which in turn would add an enormous amount of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. Tonight, we oppose this plan for the same reason that united millions of Americans 40 years ago. Because we care about our community, we care about our families and neighbors, and because we care about the future of our water supply. This plan lacks economic sense. This plan lacks environmental sense. This plan lacks regulatory sense. And most importantly to me, this plan lacks any real sense for the hard-working ratepayers of the town of Ramapo. At a time when our families have learned the true meaning of conservation, skipping the things they want to provide their families with the things they need, United Water has demonstrated a reckless attitude that shuns conservation by refusing to fix existing problems for a fraction of the cost, which would produce the same amount of water that this plant would produce, by choosing instead to build a plant that would produce less water and use more energy. United Water has shown a complete disregard even for their very own customers. Worst of all, they would shove this rate increase down the throat of our ratepayers without the slightest hesitation. This rate increase would result in $5 million of increased profit for the already fat profit margin of United Water. Ultimately, United Water sees the ratepayers of Ramapo as a way to fatten their bottom line. While I see the ratepayers of Ramapo as my personal responsibility, Supervisor St. Lawrence sees the ratepayers of Ramapo as his personal responsibility, and tonight we ask the Public Service Commission to do the service of the public, because if you do not, United Water certainly won't either. Thank you.